just off the top of your head, what would you say are the biggest mistakes people are making with their subject lines?
I think different categories of people make different mistakes.
Okay.
But if I had to broadly categorize, because I don't want to overly generalize, but I do think it's true. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who they just write boring subject lines. They're boring. They don't realize that, or I think they take for granted that people will read. They signed up for my email list. They should read, and I'm just going to tell them what's inside. And so they write boring emails, and that's the greatest sin that we can create, that we can commit, is being boring. Uh, Kind of on a similar problem is, even if you write somewhat interesting subject lines, oftentimes people will write, they all sound the same. From one email to the next, one campaign to the next, they all sound the same. So people begin to go, they ignore that because I've read that before. I know what this email is going to say or what they're trying to sell. And there's just no incentive for them to open. So that's another big one. I think another one, kind of going down that same path, becoming, even if they're interesting, there's an over-reliance on benefits or claims. If every subject line is just, here's how to double your open rate, here's how to triple your click-through rate, and it's like, at some point, you can't, there's only so many benefits that you can use. Obviously you want to use them, but if you never do anything else, it becomes very repetitive and boring, and you don't give people an opportunity to have the full emotional experience of communicating with you. You're only appealing to one thing, which is that benefit or their desire to achieve a particular outcome. So there's that. On the other end of the spectrum, I think there are a number of people, this is like a different category of marketer, but they go overboard and they make insane claims. They're just unbelievable. You know these people, which is why we
I know
have a
them. I've
disclaimer.
seen them. Sometimes I've advised them, hey, tone it down so people might possibly believe you, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even if you have, a very great, the product is amazing and produces amazing results. If you say something completely unbelievable, people will assume that you're lying and they won't pay attention. So you kind of have to moderate that. But people do try it. And maybe occasionally you can throw something out there that's really wild, but you want to be careful about overdoing that. And then another problem that I see a lot, and these are even from some big marketers, is when every subject line tries to sound personal. Like, hey, did you text me? It's a fine subject line. But if every subject line sounds personal, the trick doesn't work anymore. People will open the email, see that it's not really a personal email, and the appeal is gone.